Are the Philadelphia 76ers legit? Well, Monday night's win over the Orlando Magic might just prove the Sixers are a force in the Eastern Conference this season. And it's not just that game, but the first 3 games of the Sixers season as a whole. If you did not tune in to that win last night, Philadelphia winning another hard-fought battle against a really talented Orlando Magic team. We did a watch party here on the show for that game. It was electric. Shout out to everybody who was there hanging out with us. And just such a tough, gritty win where the Magic made a bit of a late push in that fourth quarter after the Sixers really controlled it for much of the game. And just so many good signs and good takeaways from this one. We'll talk about it. Everything I've seen that really just makes the win so much better going back and reflecting on it the next day. Before we do that, though, real quick, if you are pumped up about this 3-0 start for the Sixers, first time they've started 3-0 since the 2019-2020 NBA season, hit that thumbs up icon, like the show. 3-0 atop the Eastern Conference right now are your Philadelphia 76ers. So I think that win, when you combine that with everything the Sixers have shown so far this season, does prove that this is going to be a different Sixers team this year. This will be a Sixers team that is going to be a tough out, and I think atop the Eastern Conference because of the way they won this game against the Magic, with all the good signs and good things we've seen from individual players and really the team as a whole so far this season. In this game against the Magic, the Sixers were without the following players: Joel Embiid, Paul George, Jared McCain, Dominic Barlow, Trendon Watford. That's 2 starters in Embiid and Paul George. McCain, who could be a contender for 6th Man of the Year if he plays enough games. Dominic Barlow, who started game 1 of the season for the Sixers and was tremendous. And then Trendon Watford, who was penciled in to potentially be a starter when they signed him in the offseason. None of these guys played against the Magic. The Magic were pretty much completely healthy, only missing Mo Wagner, but still had all of their top players: Paolo and Franz, Jalen Suggs, Desmond Bane. That's a really, really good squad that the Magic have over there. And the Sixers, obviously at home against Orlando, were able to just really show their talent and their depth across the board as a whole with all these different guys being out. And that's one of the main things that the Sixers have shown early in the season is everybody contributing to these big-time wins. But of course, when you talk about these good signs we're seeing, got to talk about this elite guard duo with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe. They've been the best guard duo in the NBA so far this season. And in that game against Orlando, Maxey, his second 40-piece of the season, to go along with 8 assists, 4 3-pointers made, and VJ Edgecombe continues his historic start to his rookie season with 26, 4, and 7, being aggressive, shooting efficiently, and both of these guys really have been better than I think anyone could have expected, especially for VJ's case, and they are setting records seemingly every single day. Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe now, in the first 3 games of the season for the Sixers, have combined for 186 points. That is the most by a starting backcourt since starters were first tracked back in 1970. Are you kidding me? That's what, 50 plus years ago? We have not seen 2 backcourt mates score like Maxey and VJ are, and VJ is a rookie. And stick it on Tyrese Maxey here because the way he's been playing, right, is so important for this team that he really is taking that final step to maybe being an All-NBA player this year. It's early. It's just 3 games in, but Tyrese Maxey is leading the NBA in scoring right now at 37 points a game. Technically, Luka will be up there, but he's already missed a couple games, so he does not qualify. Maxey at 37 points per game above Giannis, Austin Reaves, who's had a couple big games for the Lakers while Luka and LeBron are out, SGA, and Lauri Markkanen, who also had a 50-point game. Maxey is leading the league. And his season as a whole has just been so impressive, right? And it's not just the scoring ability. That's obviously what stands out the most, is how aggressive he's been, how he's been able to really seemingly get whatever shot up he wants, how efficient he's been, especially from 3, over 50% from 3, but being that leader, running the offense, and especially this year being more of a vocal leader, setting the tone and setting the culture for the 76ers team. They needed this from him, and he's the main reason, of course, that they are 3-0 early in the year. Some chat stats for you guys. Tyrese Maxey, again, we talk about breaking records here, has 111 points through the first 3 games. That is the second most in Sixers franchise history, behind Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain, when you're talking about a record and you're right up there with Wilt, that's how you know you're in some special air. Tyrese Maxey right now is playing at an MVP caliber level. And coming into the year, we talked about that if the Sixers really want to take that leap, right, and get back to where they want to be with the questions around Embiid, questions around Paul George, Maxey had to become an all-NBA level player. And he has been that without a doubt through the first 3 games of this year. Now, he's playing heavy minutes, about 40 minutes a night. We'll see if he can sustain this level of play, playing so many minutes and playing so hard and so fast. But the way he's playing right now, I mean, there's no doubt about it. He is one of the best players in the league so far this season. And then VJ Edgecombe as well, right? Just unbelievable the way he's been playing so far this season. Again, as a guy who has 3 games under his belt in the NBA. He is the first guard in NBA history to average 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists through their first career games. No guard has ever done that before. Special stuff. And to further some of this crazy stuff VJ's doing, he has scored 75 points in his first 3 career games. That is the most by a rookie over their first 3-game span in the 2000s. This century. Not even LeBron did that, right? None of these other rookies since 2000 have scored as much as VJ has over these first few games. And obviously, he had the big one against Boston, right? 34 points in that opener. And then against Charlotte, still showed on Saturday, like, even if he's not, putting up 30, impacts the game in so many other ways. And then, of course, last night against the Magic was tremendous. And he's just shown that he is ready for the moment, right? He is playing in the flow of the offense. He's not forcing anything. He looks so comfortable out there. He looks like a guy who's been playing in the NBA for so long. And he said coming in with better spacing in the NBA, he does expect to have a fantastic season. And we have seen that so far this year. The Sixers are really putting him in positions to be successful. And him and Maxey play off each other so well. Coming into the season, Cooper Flagg was the runaway favorite to win Rookie of the Year based off the betting odds. And these odds coming from our friends at DraftKings, Cooper Flagg was like, I want to say minus 1,200, minus 1,500, a heavy favorite. Now, as we sit here today on Tuesday, October 28th, VJ Edgecombe is right behind Flagg at plus 130, Flagg at plus 100 for Rookie of the Year. Nobody else particularly that close, but Dylan Harper, Trey Johnson, Con Knuppel all having fantastic seasons as well. I just can't believe how good VJ Edgecombe already is. And, I was a fan of his game coming in, but it was a big debate whether the Sixers should take him at number 3 coming in to the draft. And then early throughout Summer League, throughout preseason, throughout training camp, we heard rumblings, and we saw it as well on the floor of how well he was playing. But he had his struggles at times too. He's playing right now like the best rookie we've ever seen, right? And that's really not an understatement. The numbers he's putting up, we have not seen since Wilt Chamberlain, right? Way back when. So it's unbelievable how well he has played. And do I expect him to keep playing to this level? I don't, but man, I wouldn't really put it past him. He doesn't even need to either. He's been so good. The ceiling is so high. The future is so bright for VJ Edgecombe. But maybe most importantly for the Sixers here, and what really makes these first 3 wins and this win last night so much better as we move forward here, is the Sixers seem to finally have an identity and are able to play winning basketball when Joel Embiid is not on the floor. We have never been able to say that. In Embiid's entire career, when Embiid has not been on the floor, the Sixers have been horrendous. Not just bad, they've been horrendous. But coming into this year, Maxey said, we have to play a certain way no matter who's out there on the court. They have done that this year because Embiid was not good in Game 1 against Boston, only played 20 minutes, did score 20 points. In Game 2 against Charlotte, didn't play last night against the Orlando Magic. But the Sixers are still 3-0, and they are having quite the season statistically as well in some huge areas for this team. They are 5th in points per game with 126. The Sixers were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA last season. Through 3 games, and of course, small sample size, plenty of season to go, they are the number 1 three-point shooting team in the league at 42.5%. They turn the ball over the least in the NBA with just 12 turnovers per game. They have the number 1 offensive rating in the NBA through 3 games, and they're holding their opponents to just 31.8% from 3, 5th best in the league. Now, there's plenty more to get to here on the show because there's a lot of other guys that deserve a lot of respect, and there's another aspect of this team besides just playing a certain way without Embiid that really is a cause to be so optimistic about the Sixers moving forward. Before we get to that, though, got to give a big shout out to today's presenting sponsor here on 76ers Now. That is our friends at DraftKings. All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. New customers bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass, plus score $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SixersChat. That's code SixersChat. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass, plus get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto-renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. And these are my picks for tonight's game against the Washington Wizards. Sixers on the back end of a back-to-back traveling to Washington. I'm still going to take the Sixers to win this one, stay undefeated at 4-0. Give me the Sixers on the spread, -4.5 over the Wizards, who have been okay to start the season. I'll take Embiid, 20-plus points. Didn't play last night, rested up, ready to go for this one. Scored 20 points in 20 minutes against Charlotte. Think he can do it again against Washington. And give me VJ Edgecombe, 2+ 3-pointers made. Of course, all odds and lines are subject to change. That parlay, plus 395, put down $100, you can win nearly 400. Big shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring today's show. So let's get to the other aspect of this team that I love so much, that I think is another big reason why this Sixers team is legit after just a few games. There's a lot of elements to me of last year's Pacers team. And what do I mean by that? The Pacers last year had so many guys, right? And we saw this especially in the postseason, that could do so many things with the ball, right? Not just guys that could stand there while Tyrese Halliburton or Siakam dribble around, but guys that could contribute at any moment when they're needed, when their name is called off the bench, and guys that can operate with the ball in their hands, without the ball in their hands, just a bunch of different players that are versatile with different skill sets that can all contribute to winning basketball. I think the Sixers have shown that early on this season. And it's been a bunch of guys outside of just Maxey and Edgecombe that have contributed in different spots that, again, remind me of how Indiana was able to make a run to the finals last season. And starts with Quentin Grimes. Of course, had that great end of the year last year, had the contract drama this offseason, but he has not missed a beat to start this year. 16 points, shooting almost 60% from 3, hit the game winner against the Hornets on Saturday, had some big-time moments yesterday against the Magic as well before fouling out. Just a perfect guard to have off the bench next to Maxey, next to Grimes, can play with them, can come in for them, play good defense, and knock it down from outside. How about Kelly Oubre so far this season, man? I could not go this far in the show without giving Oubre a big shout out, especially for what he did against the Magic last night. Nick Nurse calling that performance his best as a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. Great averages this year. I don't expect him to shoot 40% from 3. That'd be a plus if he could, but it's everything else he's doing, right? Playing in the flow of the offense, not playing overly aggressive and trying to do too much, which can be a problem for Kelly, and then using those athletic tools on the defensive side of the ball has been so big for him so far this season. Andre Drummond. I got to give him some props because in the offseason, I said I wanted Andre Drummond traded. I said, despite the issues the Sixers have at center, I thought Drummond was cooked. He had a bad year, but to be fair to Drummond, he was hurt pretty much all last year, dealing with a toe injury. This year, he's looked like the guy they wanted last season. Now, certainly still has some lapses, right? And The offensive game is still limited. I don't know why he's taking threes. I don't need to see any more of that. But his rebounding ability, he's making plays defensively. I like what I've seen out of Drummond in spurts. And when you pair that with what Adem Bona has shown in spurts as well, Bona against the Magic still has a fouling issue and still an inconsistent player, right? But he had some highlight real level blocks in that game that really helped the Sixers just get that energy, get those vibes going, turning defense into offense. Obviously, a crazy athlete, had a big dunk as well. So he needs to be more consistent. Really doesn't have any kind of offensive game at all, and the feel isn't great. But you can see some flashes in there, and he's a pretty good free throw shooter as well. So shout out to both of those centers for being ready to go when Embiid cannot be out there. Jabari Walker, another guy who, on a two-way contract for the Sixers, Philadelphia brings him in the offseason. He couldn't get a standard NBA contract. So the Sixers said, you know what? We'll bring him in. Comes off the bench game one. Dominic Barlow ends up getting hurt in game two. Walker plays a big role against the Hornets down the stretch, starts this game against the Magic, and of course has his struggles as well, but plays that similar role to Dominic Barlow where does the little things the Sixers need him to do to win, and just a winning type basketball player who is a steal on a two-way contract. And I got to give props to Justin Edwards as well. You see, we keep going through all these guys, right? It's all these different players that are contributing to winning basketball, which was not happening last season. Justin Edwards had a brutal summer, was awful in Summer League, was awful in the preseason after a standout, breakout rookie year last year after being a UDFA. But credit to him this season. Didn't play in game one outside of a quick 5-second stint at the end of the second quarter. Came in against the Hornets in game two on Saturday, hit some big threes to get the Sixers back in that game. And then yesterday as well against the Magic, hit some big shots to keep the Sixers afloat in that game as well. Credit to Edwards for always being ready. Even Eric Gordon, who, I'll be completely honest, I don't want to see Eric Gordon out there all that much moving forward, but Nick Nurse put him in for a quick few minutes yesterday against Orlando. He hit two big threes, right? Didn't have a traveling violation and for some reason was guarding Paolo Banchero. That should absolutely never happen, but hit those big time shots just ready to go when your name is called, no matter the situation. He hadn't played yet at all this year, but he was ready to shoot the ball and play his role when Nurse put him in. So I got to give some big time credits, of course, to the players, but to Nick Nurse as well. And he was kind of on the hot seat coming into the season, right? A lot of Sixers fans were rightfully skeptical of the performance that he had last season, a big year for Nick Nurse. But clearly the players have bought into what he's preaching. Him and Tyrese Maxey, that leadership of playing hard every single night, it's paying off. I like the adjustments he's made, the lineup decisions he's made. So big shout out to Nick Nurse. This is why he's always talked about as one of the best coaches in the NBA. Some more good news as well for the Sixers as we head into Tuesday night's game against the Washington Wizards. Again, I'm recording this before that game, so if you see it after, hopefully they are still 4-0. But even if they lose that game, this all does still apply, right? Second end of a back-to-back, things can get tricky when you're playing those early season back-to-backs. The injury report, Paul George is out again, Barlow is out again, McCain is out again. What you will see and what you will notice, no Joel Embiid on the injury report. He will be back, and he'll be playing in this one. And Trendon Watford is not on the injury report. He will be making his 76ers debut, a big boost to that forward rotation for Philadelphia. We'll end off real quickly with this because this is another aspect of this squad moving forward that some Sixers fans are worried about, but I'm actually a little bit more confident about this. A hot topic on Twitter over the past really 24 hours or so that I've seen debating among Sixers fans is, well, when you get Embiid and Paul George back eventually, right? And obviously Embiid's still working his way in, playing here and there, minutes restriction. Paul George has not played yet. When you get these guys back, how does the Sixers team, who's playing so well without these guys, work them back into the rotation, right? Some people are worried that Embiid or Paul George will ruin the flow and the pace the Sixers are playing with right now and how well they have started the season. I actually don't think this is an issue. I think this is a good problem on the 76ers' hands. And Tyrese Maxey talked yesterday. One of the strengths of this team is they can play so many different ways, right? And they can play slow, they can slow it down, they can play fast. They have so many different offenses they could run because they have so many different guys with different skill sets. And I wouldn't be too worried about Paul George. I think if he accepts a role where, doesn't have to do so much with the ball on offense, he certainly still can when he comes back from injury, but just be that other guy in the wing to hit threes from the outside and play within the flow of the offense, I wouldn't be worried about it. Now, Embiid, yes, you do got to slow things down a little bit when he's in there and he does demand the ball. But despite the Sixers' good start, they have been awful again at rebounding and defending the rim. Against the Magic and against the Hornets, it's like layup lines out there. Guys are just getting inside, getting into the paint at will. Embiid is going to help that big time. So I don't think them coming back is an issue. I think it's going to help a lot of issues that this team does already have existing. And man, when everybody is back and healthy, this is a team that can play in so many different ways and does have a high ceiling, I think, that they are a legit Eastern Conference contender. All right, before we hop on out of here, get down in the comment section and let me know, what is your level of excitement for this current 76ers team? Last year, it was a 0. This year, watching these games, watching this team play, and especially VJ Edgecombe, I think I'm at a 10 right now, man. It's an exciting time here at the beginning of the NBA season. All right, that'll do it for today's show. Again, Sixers play the Wizards tonight. Hopefully they can keep that undefeated streak going. For Sixers news, rumors, analysis, a whole lot more all season long, be sure hit that sub button, lock us in, and we'll see you tomorrow with another video here on 76ers Now.